All right, morning guys. It's Jeff. I'm back again. Back within a week actually, for surprisingly. And I did a video the other day, which was a follow up to a previous video done, and I'm actually doing something similar today. That I'm back and I'm following up on a previous video because there's been some developments in the whole thing since I made this. Now, some of you may have watched this and whatever. I took a bit of video about the British government's position on medical marijuana, and I must admit I went off on a bit of a tirade in that one because I was so pissed at the whole thing. I really felt that, and basically the story was, of course, the British government. It turns out that the UK, the pharmaceuticals in the UK, are the biggest exporters of medical marijuana-based medicines. Yet it was always been said by the UK government that they had no plans to legalise it under any circumstances. It had no medical value, and I was kind of pissed at. Hold on, you want your cake and being able to eat it here. So I was kind of pissed about that. But there seems to have been a massive, massive U-turn, and it seems that medical marijuana might be about to become legal in the UK. And doctors may be able to prescribe marijuana based medicines by the autumn of this year. So, quite, and there's also been some, there's plans to put cannabis into the Schedule 2 of the misuse of drugs regulations. It's been a Schedule 1 drug, which meaning it had no therapeutic medical value. So there's been a shift on this. I think a lot of this has come from there's a couple of notable court cases over the past couple of months or so. One's two young boys, Billy Caldwell, 12 years old, and Alfie Dingley, 6, who had they've got they have forms of intractable epilepsy. It's also called refractory epilepsy, which, and one of the things is that the seizures and so on, and the use of cannabis oil seemed to be helping them. And there was a bit of a court case as to whether doctors could prescribe this or not. And these cases, I think certainly in the case of, I think it was the Billy Caldwell case, that the judge ruled in favour of the parents there, and said that they should have access to this. So that was a huge blow. So it seems that may have had a lot to do with the government's U-turn. I don't think it was my video somehow, to be honest. I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't. So it's so there was a quote here from the British Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary. I should get that right. And he said, recent cases involving sick children made it clear to me that our position on cannabis-related medicinal products was not satisfactory. This will help patients with exceptional clinical need, but in no way is this the first step to legalization of cannabis for recreational use. So that's, okay, they're being pretty clear on that. They're still not going to legalize it recreationally. But I think this is definitely progress to me. And it was an untenable position that the British government was in. It said that the UK, I reported this before, that the UK is the world's largest export and producer of cannabis-based medicines. GW Pharmaceuticals being the most notable company. It's so they've developed some drugs that for treating MS and so on, which is limited available, which it does have some limited availability in the UK called Savitex, but it was it was very limited, the sort of access to this. But yeah, again, very, very promising development, I feel. Um, now, how's this kind of going to go? I don't think that you're going to see the sort of dispensary kind of system that you sort of got in the US, where they've legalized pot for medicinal. And I think when it's just cannabis-based medicines, I don't think it's going to be the case where you're going to get prescribed. You're going to be able to go into sort of dispensary or something and pick up, I don't know, pick up of an eighth of an ounce of weed or whatever, and be able to smoke it for your symptoms. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I do think it's going to be sort of, stuff pharmaceuticals companies have developed that is based on this, maybe CBD or oil as well, that might, cannabis oil and so on. But I think that's kind of the way it's going to go with this. Would be my guess. I don't think I'd be very surprised if we saw sort of the dispensary kind of systems. But this is long overdue because I really think this whole thing is so long overdue because I've fought for years that the British government's and positions of all major parties on this was ridiculous, and they've really just made there's no progress is made for years. I mean, this really should have happened years ago, in my opinion, but it sounds like it is going to happen now, finally. And it's a positive. It's a positive move. I think they were. I think in a way, those two cases of those young lads were very key, and I think they got that. And I think they got themselves into a shameful position, really, to be being just a few months ago being absolutely not under no circumstances are we even going to entertain the thought of medical marijuana, to now saying that it could be available in the UK for medicinal purposes before the end of the year. So it's an incredible U-turn, really, and it's positive. I think it's there has been huge certainly has been huge pressure on the government over this for a while, and it's about bloody time. So yeah, so for a change, not a rant or about anything today. Actually, something I'm kind of pleased with. So okay, I shall see you guys later. All right, salute.